In this video, I'm going to show you how to get out of bunkers properly.
And we mean properly, not like you might have been taught in the past.
There's a bad technique, there's a good technique, and there's also fear that happens when you go into sand.
It's all about your mind and what's going on in your head, isn't it, when you're in a bunker? We know.
So we're going to cover these things, and also I'm going to show you a little cheat that's going to make getting out of bunkers that much easier.
I'm loving that cheat, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Julian Mellor, founder of Proper Golfing Academy and senior golfer specialist.
And I'm Jo Cameron, his other half. So here's a bit of fun for you today. There's loads of birds here in the middle of England that shouldn't really be here. So we're going to give you a dozen sign balls for identifying the bird that shouldn't really be on this golf course in the middle of England.
So I'm just going to ask Jo to hit a couple of shots out of the sand. We've not rehearsed this, we've no idea what's going to happen. So if you can have a couple of goes and let's see how you do.
So Daisy.
Whoops.
Is that too far?
A little bit.
Oh!
Jo, I know they've not come out very well.
Whoops.
How are you feeling stood over them?
Well, I know exactly what was going on there. I was just feeling too tense about the whole thing. I wellied it.
Yeah.
But I'm also aware when I start to come into the bunker, I just sense like a pressure, you know, like a self-imposed pressure. And I just sensed like my heart rate rising. I just felt a bit like, whoo!
So a bit nervous.
Discombobulated.
And I would say that that's really common for golfers. So I think what we'll do now is let's get into bad technique, and then we'll talk a little bit about the mindset and then show some good technique, and let's help people get out of bunkers no problem.
Were they not very good then?
So one of the main reasons you'll struggle in sand is if you apply the old technique, which is to stand with an open stance and open the club face and hit across the shot. So I'll just demonstrate that now. So I'm aiming towards the flag. So this cane here is pointing towards the flag. I've opened up the club face, I've opened up my stance, my hands are forward, and this is one of the reasons why we often leave the ball in the sand, because we're actually attacking the golf ball from the wrong angle, we're potentially hitting the sand incorrectly, and that's making the thing so much more difficult. So what I want to do now is just talk a little bit about the mindset and what happens when people come into the sand, but then show you the right technique.
So they weren't that great then?
They weren't that great, were they, Jo? So one's got over the bushes and one shot off to the right.
So what did I do wrong? It's always a question everybody asks themselves, golfers, isn't it? We always say, what did we do wrong?
So what I know happened in the backswing, your backswing actually got too flat, which made it really difficult to get underneath the golf ball.
So I was like round here?
Yeah, you were around rather than the way that we're going to show people how to do it properly. And then what do you think then happens to your confidence and how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, basically that second shot, I just wellied it, didn't I? I like got, right, okay, I just want to get this out of the bunker, and I wellied it. And when the red mist comes down, you can't see the wood for the trees.
Yeah, and then it's a struggle then to control your emotions and also your level of tension.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know this before, but fear is false evidence appearing real. You know, so this is just a bunker. It's just a game of golf, isn't it? It's not like fear is like mostly created in our head. You know? But fear is not going to help you get out of the bunker. It
isn't, it isn't. So let's now go through good technique. Let's show people how to get out of sand properly. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to draw a line in the sand. Now this is pointing towards my target, or towards the target that we're going for. And the second one I'm putting in here is parallel to that. So most people would aim way to the left of that, which is really common to see. That's part of what's making it so difficult. So we're actually setting up parallel to your ball to target line. The golf club will actually go in the middle of your feet, and the golf ball will be slightly ahead of that. And what's really important now, Jo, is when we set up to that, dig your feet in so you can check to see how deep the sand is, but also what's important is make sure that the shaft of the golf club is straight. Don't lean it forward, because that has a massive effect on the bottom of the golf club. So once we've set up this way, this is going to make it so much easier to do the right technique. So can you just have a go at that for me? The recommended video this week is how to make a proper golf swing, which you can click on the link above, or it's in the description below. Your golf club is now nice and straight. Your feet are parallel to this.
Yeah.
And the golf club, I would say, is nicely in the middle of your feet, and the ball is positioned a ball's width further forward. How does that setup feel to you?
It feels nice, yeah.
Feels okay? Doesn't feel wonky? So just for demonstration purpose, could you aim your feet way to the left? And then if you push your hands forward, how does that make it feel in terms of where you want to hit the ball? That's how they used to show people how to get a ball. Yeah, it doesn't look right now, does it? Okay, so I'm really happy with the way that you set up to the golf ball. What we're going to do now is we're going to use our wrists correctly in the backswing, and we're going to use a force of nature which is free. We're going to use gravity. What goes up must come down. So the main reason we're going to get this golf ball out of the sand consistently is we are going to hit that sand as the club is coming down to hit the golf ball. It's the only shot in golf we're not actually trying to hit the ball, we are trying to hit the sand behind the ball. So if we can get the club to go nice and steep in the backswing, it makes it really easy to hit the sand on the downswing. But if I swing the club around my body, which is what happened a little bit on your first two shots, that makes it easy to miss the sand and hit the top of the golf ball. So the first thing is, once you set up, we're just going to use your wrist. So there's a gentle turning of the body, and we're going to use your wrist to make the club go up. So once that's gone up, now we have to bring it back to where it was when we started. But this is the real key to hitting good bunker shots. As I play this, look at my finish. Can you see where I finished?
Just showing off again, isn't he?
So what happens very often is you see finishers finish about here, or worse still, here. So we need some momentum because sand's quite heavy and we've got to move that sand out of the way. So the way we're doing this again, just a quick recap, is up, release, through to finish.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a go?
Yeah, 100%.
Setup's good, so we're going to make the club go up, down, through. Okay. So in the backswing, you actually hit that twice, but in the backswing, the club went more around rather than up. So we're going to have another go. Lovely. Lovely. Now, how did that feel?
Well, this one, I got my eye on the sand, and I was actually repeating in my head, I can do this.
So just one of the issues that we've seen there, Joe, is it's very easy to take that club too far around the body. That makes it more difficult. So here's the little cheat that I promised.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is I'm going to separate my hands by about 1 inch or 3 centimetres. So we're just having a little gap in between. Now the reason I'm doing this is it exaggerates the wrist action. It really gives you the feeling of making the club go up in the air. So when your hands are closer together, you don't always get that feeling. So you probably never see anybody coaching this, but I've tried this with a few people who struggled in the sand, and it worked a treat. So just that, it's almost like 2 fingers width between your hands, that's all. Great. So now let's have a go. So I'm doing exactly that. I can really get, already I can get the sensation that my right wrist is going to work differently. So it's up.
Oh, look at that.
We'll take that one, won't we? But that just made it feel really easy to get the club up in the air. So if you are struggling in the sand, well worth giving this a go because it works an absolute treat. And if you want more information about bunkers, we've got over 20 videos in the library section of Proper Golfing, so there's loads of tutorial information on there.
Yeah, so check it out if you want to get even better at your golf.
So I hope you've enjoyed this and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care, bye.